Tesla was like 120K short of delivery estimates. Surprised the stock didn't drop more. We are now in the irrational. We are now in the irrational denial stage of our economy. All right, chat. We are in the irrational denial stage of the economy. Look out below. What's happening right now is every intelligent investor is getting themselves out of leveraged positions, and they are passing stocks over to retail investors and dummies. They're spreading memes about buy the dip. And once the institutional investors are fully positioned to be opposite the crash will happen. Look out below, because things are about to get fucking real. Tesla sales massively declined, 13% drop from a year ago. This company is fucking toast. I actually think that Tesla may not recover without an outright government bailout. And the problem with that is that I think that might be a lot harder than you think, because Donald Trump is going to recognize. There's one thing about Donald Trump that is really underestimated. There's something about Donald Trump that is really underestimated, which is he has his pulse on the vibes of the Republican base. And when he realizes something is hurting him with the Republican base, he starts to pull away. He's done this time and time again. Donald Trump hates a loser. And Elon Musk last night proved himself to be a loser. It's only a matter of time. And when Donald Trump and Elon Musk have a public fight, Tesla stock is going to drop 100 points in a day. It's only a matter of time. Like, literally, this is my most wild prediction. I'm not saying you should buy or sell any security. But the Tesla put, the reason why people have not completely given up on Tesla is because they think that he's going to get bailed out by Trump. They think that he's controlling the government. He's going to get bailed out by Trump, that he can't, they're going to give him as many government contracts as he needs. And that's only true as so far as Trump finds Elon useful and popular. This is my most wild thought. I don't know if this is just me wanting it to happen. So this is why I'm not saying that you should definitely believe this. This is something that I want to happen, which is a huge red flag. Whenever somebody's making prediction and they want something to happen, it should be a red flag. That's why I was able to identify all the liberals for being wrong on the 2024 election. All the liberals, everybody who is a liberal, exposed themselves. Because they were like, oh, I think Kamala Harris is going to win. Everybody who said that exposed themselves as a liberal because they were just saying what they wanted to happen. Okay? They were not analyzing shit as it was. They were not analyzing shit based on data. They were not making a legitimate argument based on the facts. They just wanted something to happen, and they cherry picked whatever they needed to like make that more likely in their own mind. So I'm not saying I'm doing that with Tesla, but that's a risk. Now, by the way, we live in a liberal hegemony, okay? So all of us, to a certain extent, have absorbed and adopted certain liberal belief systems, okay? There is some liberalism in us all right? So people who are like, the people going like, Bowser or Bauer is bad. God damn it, man. Why do I have to know about this shit? Why do I have to know about these fucking stupid bullshit personality fights? And they're always substanceless too. They're always substanceless, and this ship of Theseus bullshit. I don't know what's worse. He's not an asshole or he is an asshole. You're such a conformist. Me? In my entire life. In my entire life. I have never been a conformist in any way. In fact, I think it's probably a problem for me. My problem is I autistically say what I believe all the time. I let people know what I think about them straightforwardly to their face. I don't hold back. If anything, I should conform more. Not Bowser. I'm talking about someone else. Never mind. Of course, Bowser in DC is not a fucking leftist.
They go into the wall. Here we go. Here we go. It's about to crash into the wall. There we go. Here we go.
Based largely on your commentary, I got my physical therapist to sell all his Tesla shares some months back, and when it first up, he got grumpy a little, but today he thanked me with all his heart. Oh, no, 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 no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about giving people advice on money. If it goes well, which is outside of your control, they're not going to be that thankful. They're going to attribute it to their own wisdom and probity and intelligence. And they will convert the opinion that you gave them that made them do the thing to their own judgment. And they'll be like, I am so smart. I am so great. Now, if anything goes wrong, they'll blame you for everything. This is the problem with giving people money advice, which I do not do. When it goes well, it's their intelligence that made it happen. When it goes poorly, it's your fault. And you're an idiot. And they're never listening to you again. So it's one of those tails I win, heads you lose. So don't do it. Now, whenever I make commentary about a specific company, like, for example, GameStop being, I am long-haired like Thor. Hell yeah, brother. Love K-drama. Honestly, like, one of the rules I think shouldn't... Can I just have a meta commentary about TOS for a second? I want to have a meta commentary about TOS. I feel like telling people to kill themselves is one of those things that should be the right of every American. And you shouldn't be, you shouldn't be banned for that. I just don't think that that should be against the rules. You know what I mean? Like, I get that it's bad optically and it's very cruel. And what if somebody actually does it? Like a Twitch streamer tells someone to kill themselves, and then, the family goes like, they wrote a suicide note where they said that Asmongold said kill yourself, and they did, and it's his fault. And then, Twitch gets sued. So I get it. I understand why. But it really is an imposition on people's free speech. And it's not fair. And I feel like we should be a little bit free speech absolutists on this issue. That is the end of my TED Talk. You should be allowed to tell people to kill themselves. Did you just say you would be more conformist? What's wrong with meta commentary? Do you agree with Hassan's token idea? What's Hassan's token idea? Did you see how crazy the Newsmax IPO? Mike, it's not about us being able to say it. It's about not letting bullies do what they do in South Korea. Bad take, Mike. Leftists don't use that insult. It's mostly incels and Nazis, because incels and Nazis are not public individual. Like, they're already anonymous and they don't care about their accounts. So we have this situation of a, you know, kill yourself gap. We have a kill yourself gap where the fascists and the Nazis who are anonymous can tell people to kill themselves and make jokes about trans people killing themselves and do all sorts of evil shit. And we can't respond, because if we respond, then we get reported and banned because we're not anonymous. So it causes a kill yourself gap. And it's, you know, I just think that is not fair. We should not allow that. Everyone starts with 5 kill yourself tokens? Bullshit. People like me should have way more kill yourself tokens than you. With all due respect. I don't even think you should have any, to be honest. I should have like a 50 per stream, and you get 0. And I should be able to provide one all expenses paid trip to Dignitas in Switzerland. Once per year, I should be able to like offer a one-way ticket to Switzerland to a specific chat interaction. They don't have to take me up on it. But like, I should be able to do one nomination. I feel like every streamer, once you get at least 5,000 subs, should have one nomination they can provide. Is saying follow your leader bannable? Probably. Mike Facades as a socialist but is a fascist? Oh, come on. Come now. Come now. This is called jokes. This is called letting off some steam. You are not being stalked by, 500 freaks. Honest to God, and I don't say this to pretend that I'm some sort of tough guy, but 99.9% of you would absolutely crumble in my position. And let alone Hassan's. How do I know that? Because I see it happen all the time. People get 1/10 of the pushback I get, and they fucking fold. Then they start yelling at me that it's not fair that I fight back and that I'm hurt. In fact, I'm profiting, and it's like, bitch, I've been stalked for years before you. It's absolutely crazy how people think that to be a leftist, you have to be some sort of saint. Leftism is not about sainthood, or even necessarily about being empathetic, although they tend to go hand in hand. Because if you want to build a society that cares about the dignity of every human being and wants to maximize everyone's potential and finds human life to have inherent value, then you tend to be more empathetic. But that's not what leftism is. Leftism is about overturning the sociopathic machine known as capitalism that devalues human life in favor of profit. All right, that's what leftism is about. Leftism is not about me being some sort of saint or always being nice or always turning the other cheek. I'm not Jesus Christ, and in fact, I don't agree with Jesus Christ. And quite frankly, I find Christianity to be pretty uncompelling. I legitimately, I find the whole human sacrifice element of Christianity to be vile as well. Just the idea that we all should pour our sins onto someone, even if it's the Godhead, and have them be bloodily tortured and sacrificed and like celebrate that as a get out of jail free card for me. It's just a vile idea. I do like the idea of forgiveness. I do like the idea of rehabilitation. I think those are valuable and interesting. But like the Bronze Age nature of it is just unattractive. Socialists say kill yourself is to bad people who have violent, awful, inhuman, voluntarily adopted ideologies. Fascists say kill yourself to people for uncontrollable characteristics. Oh yeah, absolutely. All in all, I would say that I understand why Twitch has the rule against saying you should, streamers saying people should kill themselves, but it is an imposition on my free speech and it's unfair. And that will close my meta commentary on Twitch TOS. Thoughts of the Pope say Christianity and Marxism has a lot in common. He's right. People who are so comfortable to say Christianity is bad wouldn't say that about other religions. I say it about all religions all the time. I completely disagree. Overall, religions are pretty stupid. That being said, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have value for some people, and some people even use it to construct relatively positive worldviews, and they reform their religious belief to purge elements of superstition and backward thinking. I've always supported liberation theology and ideas such as that, but for me personally, it doesn't hit. The core philosophy that all human beings have souls which are deserving of redemption and salvation is good, but yeah, the Old Testament is largely abhorrent, and then even the New Testament has major problems. I mean, basically, I think that like socialism in many ways is the reason why Marx was German and not Chinese has to do with Christianity. Like, I do agree. I do think there's something to that. I do think that argument does make sense. Like, that socialism is almost a secularization of certain egalitarian elements of Christian theology. I think there's something to that. I don't know if I completely agree with it, but I do think there is something to it. I think there's something valid about it. Anyway.
A train to go into a building. What the fuck?
All right, what else were we saying about I just want to let's watch some Hassan just so we could bait some people into the stream, and we're going to talk more about the Wisconsin elections. I was going to cover it, like, I was going to do a preview yesterday, but I thought it was pretty obvious that you should vote against Elon Musk. Whatever Elon Musk wants you to do, you should do the opposite. I think that's a pretty good rule of thumb for the time being.
Nonverbal when discussing Elon Musk's Twitter habits.
I would say those egalitarian elements predate Christianity. Of course they do. I mean, you could say that. I mean, Christianity is a plagiarism of a plagiarism of a plagiarism, of course. Of course.
Dave Wasserman called it already? Told you. Told you.
Told you, bitch. Bitch, where's me? I predicted exactly what was gonna happen. I told you, motherfuckers. I told you, bitch. You read my comment, bitch. Somebody find my clip. Somebody find my clip. I need my clip. That's it. I made sure that he would read out my prediction. I made sure he would read out my prediction. This motherfucker. No, it was also his thoughts too, but I mean, maybe he just completely agreed with me, which is valid, right? Like, that is valid to just completely agree with me. That is valid. Isn't that kind of a Eurocentric approach? Other cultures have longer histories and more collective-based societies than Europe has. Not trying to be woke of the day. There was a more egalitarian culture and research a budget rigid. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the specific, metaphysical details and the, the actual reality of Marxist thought being from a German guy. Yes, you're of course right. Oh, wait. I think I found it. Oh, that was fast. Wait, I had it and then I clicked off. Fuck.
All of these national politics have local consequences. And so I think it's been a challenge in different eras for both of our parties. But right now, based off of the election in November,
2% estimated
Republicans
vote,
were able to seize
and
on that.
I don't even
Democrats
think they've
have
done
really captured
Madison,
Did I miss it or did
nor
I go past?
Milwaukee yet.
national
Wait.
impact to their local
Wait.
pocketbooks.
Yeah,
I
there's
feel
no
like
votes
I'm
for
either right after
Milwaukee
this or right before
nor
this.
Madison.
Costs are going to go
Fuck!
up for the
I clicked right to myself.
It's over, dude.
realistic way
Yeah,
of going about
let me
it.
tell you
can be
something,
strategic
okay?
with tariffs, but these are just
At a certain point in this night, you are going to look at this map, and the map is going to be all red. Make no mistake, that doesn't mean anything because land doesn't vote. Okay, we need to make it mandatory to show like population
Shit.
density maps where they
Fuck.
show like where
there a
actually
way
the
to
people
search
live
chats?
in comparison to.
Is there a way to search chats? And I can find exactly when I was. Okay, it says 1823:55 UTC. I said very likely Republicans lose because the type of people to vote in special elections are likely to be higher income, higher education voters, the exact type of demographic that Dems are actually not totally collapsing in. I think Elon eats shit, LMAO. That's it. That's what Hassan said last night. Bitch, he was reading my message. Reading it and not I can see I know the log link, but I'm like, when did that actually, like, fuck.
No, other places in the state, because that is meaningless. Seeing a full red map does not mean
I
anything.
think it's why when Donald Trump goes up to Roberts and at the Joint Congress and is like, thank you, I won't forget, we're like, forget what? You know, like, wait a minute.
But you did rebuke him shortly
He
after.
did, but it gives pause. I mean, if somebody helps you get someplace, the fear is that,
Yeah.
that when you want judges
There
to be
you go.
impartial, and I would hope that, I don't know these people, so I would assume that both will be impartial.
Are you implying that because Clarence Thomas wrote on somebody's plane and their vote?
I disagree with this. I think, look,
Yes, I am.
I actually think whoever wins this race.
Shocking.
I mean, one is a liberal jurist, one is a more conservative jurist. I would expect that most of the time they would wind up adhering to their legal and perhaps personal political ideology on most cases. I actually think we are a little cynical about. I'm a big fan of candidates. I like.
I legitimately, and I mean this completely. The idea that I think you're cynical if you think people giving money is going to change their opinion. This is one of, I consider this to be a subhuman opinion. There are some opinions that when I hear them, they're evil. Like, and you should just like want to destroy them forever, and you should never try to persuade them or talk to them again. And one of those opinions is, I don't think money in politics changes people's minds. I just think that people tend to agree on those things, and then they get the money. Okay, if you hear that, that's the type of person who should be destroyed, and their ashes dumped into a waste heap and forgotten. Okay, that is a statement of like such pure evil that is disguised in this kind of like blinker naivete. And what they're doing there is they're maliciously pretending to be stupid when in reality they're totally sociopathic. And those are exactly the type of people that you need to distance yourself from as much and as hard as you can. And I mean that. I'm not kidding. Like, if you hear someone say something that stupid and that evil, you should be like, oh, this person is a son of a bitch looking for a back to place a dagger in. I'm out. Like, and why do I have such an extreme reaction to that? Because it's dumb as fuck. I mean, it's so dumb and so evil. Even a cursory thought for 5 seconds would explain why it's stupid. Let's say there's position A. Position A gets you no money. Position B gets you $30 million in outside spending on your campaign. What position would a rational candidate who's ambivalent about issue A or issue B take? Let's say you don't care about issue A or issue B, but issue A gets you no money and issue B gets you $30 million. What position are you going to take? The answer is issue B every single time. And if you take issue A, you will rapidly lose your elections and be taken out. So what happens is, through natural selection, people tend to coalesce around the issues that give them more money, because all things being equal, candidates that get more money win over candidates that don't. Now, it just so happens in the real world, things are never totally equal, but there is an advantage to having more money. Does it mean you're definitely going to win every election? No. That's how liars get away with saying, well, money doesn't determine the outcome. It just... But that's not how politics works. Politics happens at the margins. If something helps you, then people are going to be attracted to it because they want to win. So that's why money in politics is so insidious. So whenever somebody's like, I don't know if people change, I'm an optimist, blah, blah, blah. That person is trying to get money, and they should be personally and individually destroyed.
When people run for office, no matter what, I respect it, and I just don't think people are that easily bought. Now, that's not to say people haven't been bought in the course of American history, but I guess I'm going to go glass half full.
Well, there's also correlation between how long the term they're serving for is, how independent they're able to be, and if they have a shorter term. I think in a House race, you're basically constantly running for re-election. Someone cuts you.
Oh, 623, you found it? Did I go too far?
Has the chance to win here is exactly the same reason why I think 150,000 people, live concurrent viewers, were watching Cory Booker talk about the Manhattan Institute being a beacon of good at the end of the day. Liberals just want anything. They want literally anything, whether it's bare minimum, whether it's optics focus, doesn't matter. They are so desperate to show, to say, fuck you, Donald Trump.
I need you to stop accepting the bare minimum. This is my main political goal. My main political goal in life is to make you stop accepting the bare minimum. All right? I want you to stop accepting the bare minimum. I want you to stop going like, I just want someone to say something nice about trans people once. No. I want you to start expecting more and demanding more. And I want you to start having contempt for people that take crumbs or drink water like they're dying of thirst. That's why we're in the mess we're in, is that people are just so desperate for any ounce of decency that they glom onto any neoliberal who shows even an iota of intellect on any issue. You need to start looking for people that don't suck. Stop looking for people that suck on everything except one thing. You fucking loser, pathetic liberal fucking cocks. This is my main enragement point. Is it's like, oh my God, Andy Bashir, he vetoed a legislation that was bad against trans kids one time. He's the new leftist voice. It's like, no, he's fucking not, you dumbass. This is why you dopes get tricked so easily. Brie Gretch, oh, did you know she's tall and a woman? Oh, Big Gretch, wow. Oh, wow, she won in Michigan. Why did she win? What's her background? Why is she the governor? I don't do any research. My name is Editor Mentum. Like, I need you to stop. I need you to stop, okay? Gretchen Whitmer is governor of Michigan because she was literally set up to run by the CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield Health Insurance Company because the front runner was a Bernie-crat in favor of single-payer health care. And so her campaign was launched. Her father was a former Blue Cross Blue Shield CEO, and her mentor was the current Blue Cross Blue Shield CEO. And they basically fundraised from health insurance lobbyists in Michigan and around the country to buy her into the governor's mansion. If you're a left winger and you support that, you're dumber than fucking dirt, and I hate you. But Mike, she said Trump is bad. Well, isn't that good enough for you? You're purity testing. No, I'm not purity testing. It is 2025, you dumb fuck. But Mike, did you know that AOC didn't force the vote in 2020? And now you're telling me not to like Andy Bashir and the most corrupt Andy Bashir. Who's Andy Bashir? He's a Nepo baby of a former Dixiecrat Democrat. That's the only reason he's in the governor's mansion, because his dad was in the governor's mansion 30 fucking years ago. Wow. Oh my God. He's such a revelation. And it's like, does he have any accomplishments? Is he actually even left wing? No, he's just a Democrat who got elected because he ran against a black guy. Like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Again, there's this like baby tier level analysis of stupidity, and I don't have tolerance for it anymore. I'm not saying that I want you to be the most hypercritical, never compromised person, but can you at least be a little bit critical? Can you at least not fall for every fucking trick? Leftist Twitch streamer, U.S. citizen says CBP search phone at Mexico border. Vorlo with the article. Vorlo got searched. Anyway, sorry for that big rant, but I need you to be better. I need you guys to be better. And it doesn't mean be hypercritical and look for reasons to hate people, but it does mean stop falling into every liberal fucking hype cycle, or just call yourself a liberal and fucking, there's the door. Get the fuck out. I need you to be smarter than that. I need you to be better than that. I think Edigermentum will get there. Fuck you. Bro, if you're being promoted by Hassan and Chapo Trap House and you don't understand that Gretchen Whitmer is bad, then you're fucking worthless for me. Like, legitimately, I'm sorry. And by the way, she's getting even worse. I don't know if you noticed, she did a speech. I didn't even talk about it on stream, but I did tweet about it because it made me laugh. Because it was like, of course. My Twitter obsession is going to be the death of me. The thing that rages me, like Twitter legitimately fills me with rage, which is my addiction cycle of just being mad at dumb people. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find this. What the fuck? Bipartisan. I don't know why that. Bipartisanship. Like, wait, what happened? Did I F? Oh, I F for a second. Sorry about that. This has been happening lately where I'll get like one. Here we go. There we go. We found it, chat. Governor Whitmer deliver address in Washington, D.C., laying out bipartisan vision for economic strategy to create jobs, prepare U.S. for future challenges. Whitmer will be in conversation with Gretchen Carlson, who is a former Fox News host. This Thursday in Washington, D.C., Governor Gretchen Whitmer will deliver a major speech in the nation's capital, laying out her vision to working with both parties and federal officials to build America's manufacturing might and protect our national defense, a.k.a. she's giving a speech to a bunch of military contractors and lobbyists to talk about China warmongering. Afterwards, she will sit down for a fireside chat with Gretchen Carlson to discuss the proposals and strategy behind the vision. In her address, the governor will outline her bipartisan approach to bring supply chains home from China, create more good-paying jobs, and invest in our defense industry. The governor is focused on a long-term strategy that puts America at the forefront of manufacturing and strengthens our national defense. 3 times in the same fucking paragraphs. Wow, that's great. 2 paragraphs and you say defense industry strengthening. She loves military contractors, folks. Governor Whitmer will continue to work with anyone to continue getting things done, grow the economy, and protect our nation. If you guys think that this candidate is on your side, you are dumber than fucking dirt.
Not only is the off-season voting the favored liberal pastime, but also they're doing this at a time when, like, you know, the Trump administration is reaching new levels of depravity. Very likely Republicans lose because of the type of people that vote in special elections are likely to be higher income, higher education voters, the exact type of demographic that Dems are actually not collapsing in. I think Elon eats shit, Lamau. Yeah, that's what I think as well. Also, Elon Musk is fucking annoying. Like, I still believe.
I assume you've seen this. The boys are alt-right. You know what? I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this because Hassan hasn't changed on his views and liberals are promoting him. And as long as you aren't dumb enough to start becoming a Vox viewer, then this is okay. As long as you don't become a Vox viewer, everything's going to be okay. All right? We should listen to this. We should listen to this so I can mauled. Also, what is this fucking picture? You have Hassan as you have Hassan Abi as your guest, and you use a bunch of nerd right-wingers as the photo. Who designed this website? What you do is you get a collage of all his fucking thirst traps. I thought there were gay men at Vox. I thought the one thing that we would get with liberal websites would be gay men. And this is what you show? You should have a collage of his, you should have his armpit picture. You should have his underwear shot. You should have a hot tub shot. You should have him lifting from the back, doing a deadlift or a squat. Like, what is this shit? I'm going to show a bunch of yelling, crooked tooth, gap tooth rednecks. These men are also gay? That's true. That is actually true. I mean, like, Mike, did you see the Eric Adams corruption case was dismissed with prejudice? Yes, I saw that incredibly corrupt governmental deal done by, hey, what do you guys know? A centrist Democrat betraying everybody to work with fascists. What are you guys surprised? Wow, is a centrist Democrat betraying all of us to work with fascists to save their own skin? Anyway, let's talk about how Big Gretch is the future. She's at the top of my 2028 power rankings or whatever dumb fuck shit mass motherfucker. AOC C tier, Gretchen Whitmer A tier. Does anybody have his latest power rankings? I'm gonna keep making fun of Edgermentum forever, Chad, by the way. Like, he's actually really bad at this and I'm never gonna stop. I'm never gonna stop, just so you know, like, because he's really bad at this. And the thing is, not only is he bad at this, like, some people might look at this and go like, Mike, you want AOC to be more popular than Gretchen Whitmer. It's not that I want her to be. She objectively is. And here's the other thing. AOC is far more left-wing than Gretchen Whitmer will ever be. So if I'm going to, like, shade my commentary in favor of anyone, it's going to be in favor of the people that are closer to me. I'm going to lie in favor of Ilhan Omar and AOC 1,000 times more than I will for Gretchen Whitmer or Bashir. But guess what I don't do? Lie in favor of them. I tell you the truth and say, this is where they suck. Elon is getting kicked out. Okay, 5 alarm fire for Musk. I need to just I need to make just one bet against Tesla. Just one. Trump tells Inner Circle that Musk will leave soon. Did Tesla stock start crashing yet? Okay, it's up today. Tesla stock is actually up. It started down. People are buying the bad news. People are buying the bad news, which is what I thought might happen. That's what I thought might happen, which is why I didn't want to short before the quarterly, because I was like, it's going to be bad, but people might buy it. But this is what happens is people will buy bad news and sell good news, which is like very paradoxical. But if you think about how disgusting stock market traders think, it makes sense. And the news was really bad for Tesla. But this right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is to me the biggest sell signal I've ever seen in my life. Now, I'm not telling you to sell, and if you do, it's your own fucking fault. Technically, Doge did save some money. Once Musk leaves Trump, it didn't save shit. In fact, the money that they did, all they've done is damage the United States, which is going to make all of our lives worse in all sorts of ways that you and I can't even if you have money. The United States has been damaged in so many ways that you can't even fix it. Like, even with money, you can't insulate yourself from homeless people all over the streets. Even with money, you can't insulate yourself from potholes on the streets. Even with money, you can't insulate yourself from the air quality being shit, right? Like, are you going to constantly be wearing a respirator as you walk around? You can't liberate yourself from food quality inspections. Like, are you going to test every single item? Like, the amount of extra, like, there's no way to replace these societal institutions without some sort of like OCD level interventions in your own life. You're just going to be damaged and harmed. I think Tesla is just riding the rest of the market volatility for now with VIX bouncing around. I legitimately, and this is one lesson about stocks, the stock market can remain irrational longer than you remain solvent. That's why being a bear is such a difficult and dangerous thing to be. But I think America is actually cooked. This sucks. The baby boomers were actually the most decadent, horrible generation of all time. Like, you guys really, like, all the baby boomers that are in here, you're incredibly beautiful people and you're perfect in any way. So don't feel the need to defend your generation, because you are special. All right. You are special and you should be honored to be special. Don't fuck that specialness up by defending your worthless generation of failures and scum. All right. Like, if you're here, you're great. But your generation is absolute dog water. I don't know if if you're here in my chat, I don't know if the lead poisoning didn't affect your brain because of like random chance, or the lead molecules killed the bad part of your brain to make you cool. I don't know why. You're cool because you're here. But if you're here, you're special. Every other boomer, dog shit. And they fucking destroyed the US. If you're ever feeling bad at boomers, I keep this thing bookmarked. 36.35% of baby boomers are dead. Yeah, all the cool ones. All the cool ones. That's the other thing. Have you noticed that all the good boomers are the ones most likely to die, and that the shit boomers are the ones that are sticking around? Like, what the fuck? This is why, like, we were talking about religion earlier, and I think the dualists have a point. I think the Gnostics have a point. I think we might be in hell. I think we might actually be in the worst of all possible worlds. I think we might actually be in hell. Like, it's not that there's no good in this world. It's not that it's like evil maxing, but it's like, if you look at the world and you said like, okay, what would I do to like create a system that would maximize human suffering for the most amount of people for the longest time? It would be approximate the system we have now. Isn't boomers the silent generation? No. Have you listened to a boomer? They can't shut their fucking mouth to save their life. The silent gen. The silent gen. Boomers, the silent gen. Absolutely not. They're the me generation. Millennials are the Mr. Rogers generation, and I hate that about my generation. Like, I love that about my generation, but I also hate that about my generation. My generation is like the, why can't we all just get along, and why can't we care about each other, and why don't we love each other? That's why Corbyn and Bernie are our guys, because they're the baby boomer or the silent gen people that were the Mr. Rogers politicians, and we're like, yay, nice politicians who never want us to do anything mean. Oh yes, oh we love you, we love you, we want a big hug. That's why I hate my generation. My generation is the well, are you sure he murdered her? Okay, well, we wouldn't want to be mean to him generation. And I fucking hate that. I mean, I like it, but I also hate it. Like, the problem that we have is that the leftist leaders we've picked are Mr. Rogers adjacent. Now, if you don't know who Mr. Rogers is great. I'm going to play you a clip.
Do you narrate it?
I'm the host, yes. And I do all the puppets, and I write all the music, and I write all the script.
Well, I'm supposed to be a pretty tough guy, and this is the first time I've had goosebumps for the last 2 days.
Well, I'm grateful, not only for your goosebumps, but for your interest in our kind of communication. Could I tell you the words of one of the songs which I feel is very important?
Yes.
This has to do with that good feeling of control, which I feel that children need to know is there. And it starts out, what do you do with the mad that you feel? And that first line came straight from a child. I work with children, doing puppets in very personal communication with small groups. What do you do with the mad that you feel when you feel so mad you could bite? When the whole wide world seems oh so wrong, and nothing you do seems very right. What do you do? Do you punch a bag? Do you pound some clay or some dough? Do you round up friends for a game of tag or see how fast you go? It's great to be able to stop when you've planned a thing that's wrong and be able to do something else instead. And think this song. I can stop when I want to, can stop when I wish, can stop, anytime. And what a good feeling to feel like this, and know that the feeling is really mine. Know that there's something deep inside that helps us become what we can. For a girl can be someday a lady, and a boy can be someday a man.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. Looks like you just earned the $20 million.
Now, if you don't know what this is about, if you're not American, Mr. Rogers is a Pennsylvanian who created a television show on PBS, so public broadcasting. So it was children's entertainment that was focused on like self-esteem and learning empathy and learning coping mechanisms for how you interact with your siblings and friends and parents and learning how to relate to other people and being kind. And, you know, it was provided it's a non-profit show, basically. Left-winger show on public television. And this was a speech that Mr. Rogers gave to Congress to convince them to give them money so that they could create the show as an alternative to, like, you know, violent media, commercial media that we typically get, you know. I like Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers is great. He's a proud Pennsylvanian. However, he's very kind. He's almost too kind Sometimes the right way to treat a bully is to knock them on their ass. And I feel like the millennial generation is a little bit too obsessed with the concept of like constantly empathizing. I think there's an element of truth to the idea that we have empathy overdose. We have toxic empathy disorder. And it's not the right wingers are wrong. The right wingers say that like, oh no, you're being empathetic to immigrants and they all want to hate you and the immigrants are evil and you're being empathetic toward criminals. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being empathetic to Republicans. I'm talking about being empathetic to people who have power. Not saying be unempathetic to people that are hurting and weak.